Today we go over an update for Star Wars Episode 9 and President of Lucasfilm, Kathleen Kennedy. This is Mike Zero here. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now you guys may remember the big news that hit the internet back in summer of 2017 when Colin Trevorrow was fired. He was let go from the project of Episode 9 by Kathleen Kennedy for some of the script choices that he made. Now all thanks to the Wall Street Journal, and Screen Rant actually talked about this even further, which by the way, all those reports will be linked below in the description. Go ahead and check it out. We actually learned a whole lot more about exactly why Colin Trevorrow was let go, why he was fired by Kathleen Kennedy for Star Wars Episode 9. Now looking at all of this, I'm going to be reading a little piece from Screen Rant. Go ahead and check out their report below. Now, what actually happened was this. Colin Trevorrow, the director of Jurassic World, initially tapped to helm the next Star Wars movie. 2019's Episode 9 was dismissed after Miss Kennedy grew unhappy with his work on the script, said a person with knowledge of his work on the movie. Trevorrow worked on his initial draft of the script with his frequent collaborator, Derek Connolly, but that was nixed by Kennedy. Lucasfilm went on to hire Harry Potter and the Cursed Child writer Jack Thorne to rewrite Trevorrow's script, but that went poorly as well. After the Thorne draft, Trevorrow reportedly wanted another go to the script himself, but Kennedy decided to dismiss Trevorrow and move on. Now, with Kathleen Kennedy and the firing of Colin Trevorrow, we learned a whole lot more because Jack Thorne, you guys may have heard about him. He actually wrote the Harry Potter movies, some of them. And looking at Jack Thorne, we never really heard much more about him when he was actually set to, essentially fix everything when it came to Trevorrow's script. And now we know why we haven't really heard anything more about Jack Thorne, and that's because he too was also let go by Kennedy because she wasn't all that impressed with what Jack Thorne was trying to do as well. So the real reason, the real, thing that was a deal breaker was that Colin Trevorrow really was trying to get another shot at rewriting Star Wars Episode 9, a second shot at doing it all over. Colin Trevorrow even goes over the fact, and this comes from the Wall Street Journal, that he himself wasn't impressed with the first script of Star Wars Episode 9. Again, all reports are below in the description. Go ahead and check them out. This honestly does raise a lot of questions because it seems like when it comes to Disney and Lucasfilm, you are having a lot of these inconsistencies when it comes to who they are really hiring. We've had this with The Force Awakens. We didn't really have it with The Last Jedi. Everything was okay with that, except looking at Episode 9, everything was shaky, as well as it was with Solo, A Star Wars Story. They had to let go of the original two directors. And that, to me, I feel like that if you're making a big movie such as a Star Wars movie, you really should know exactly who to hire right from the get-go. This way you don't run into any problems down the road. What's really interesting for sure as well is that Ron Howard actually ended up reshooting 70% of the Han Solo film. But going back to Episode 9, the fact that Trevorrow, and this is a new piece of material that we haven't heard before, the fact that Trevorrow himself wasn't all that impressed with the first script that he actually had written for the final film in the sequel trilogy is actually news to me. That's actually, something that we haven't heard before in the past, and thanks to the Wall Street Journal, now we know. So, looking at Star Wars Episode 9, the fact that Chris Terrio is actually on board, he actually helped out with the script with J.J. Abrams, is great news. Chris Terrio, in case you guys have no idea who he is, go ahead and look him up. I have faith in him, and I also am hoping that the sequel trilogy does have a nice wrap-up altogether. Now, looking at the future when it comes to the Star Wars franchise, I just hope everything when it comes to hiring directors, writers, you name it, stays very, very consistent when it comes to, of course, having no firings of any directors, writers, and all the like, because to me, if that keeps happening, you may just very well have a little bit of trust issues in the future. Now, looking at the Obi-Wan Kenobi movie, let's hope that they do in fact choose the correct writers for the job. We do know that Kathleen Kennedy is looking at Stephen Daldry as a director, which honestly, if you guys have checked out some of his work, you may find it to be quite impressive. But anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all this in the comments section. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.